this afternoon. So Fire Chat is a product of Pastor Sam Sule Glory World Center, where we meet entrepreneurs, businesses, prophets, where whoever God is using to bring a change. And this afternoon, I'm here with Engineer Dr. Collins. Let's celebrate him. Let's celebrate him. Let's celebrate him. Engineer, this Fire Chat is for entrepreneurship and things. Please, before you go on, just tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Pastor Sam Sule. I want to first of all thank you very much for this opportunity to be able to be on this Fire Chat and to be able to bring to the people what God wants us to say to them at this point in time. Around the Entrepreneurship Summit. Yeah. My name is Collins. I'm a mechanical engineer training. I'm also a business process manager. I'm a consultant. I'm a CEO of Men Consults into solving problems for businesses using B2B business model. Where we help people into small, micro businesses that are trying to grow. So we are growth specialists. We specialize more in helping people to leave the stage of startup to the stage of growth. And I believe that that's a space that many of us want to thrive in this modern 21st century entrepreneurship.
Wow.
And also I'm a pastor.
Wow.
Pastor Communication.
Yeah.
Pastor of Ministries, Victoria, and also we have branches all across Africa.
Thank you so much. For me, entrepreneurship, as a pastor, as a business owner, why did you go into that? Or why do you want to teach about entrepreneurship?
Thank you very much. I believe I have the qualification that is necessary to thrive in that space. Number one is because I've been a practicing entrepreneur in the past 18 to 20 years. I don't want to be specific to say 20 years, but let me say for 18 years, the cognition that I'm now into the entrepreneurship line was already there. So by the grace of God, we're able to do many things involving business setup. Some of them are running, some of them are not able to run because that's the experience that we have along the line. And God has put it in me so strong that we need to start thinking of how to give back to the younger generation in order to bring up the kingdom entrepreneurs that will bring about change, positive change to our society, and also particularly to the kingdom of God.
Wow. Before I go to the questions the audience have sent to us, I want you to just speak to us. What are, I've said some few things, but from your own experience as an entrepreneur, me, I'm an upcoming entrepreneur, what are the lessons and suggestions that you can give to today's youth regarding entrepreneurship?
Thank you very much. Entrepreneurship is a whole lot of topic. It's a broad topic, and I want to start by saying that the first problem we have with entrepreneurship is that over time, that has evolved. Of course, entrepreneurship has always been right from Stone Age. It has always been the economics of life, selling, service providing, product productions, and all that manufacturing. It has evolved over time. I want to constrain it to Africa. Okay, this is where my environment is, and I have so much passion for Africa because I see that Africa is lacking so much in entrepreneurship. And the reason I'm not far-fetched from the major macroeconomic factors that we have already in the system. We all know that Africa is termed as the underdog when it comes to world development. And the reason is not far-fetched from maybe governance that is not too effective, defective education system, one way or the other, moral systems that are not entrepreneurship kind of inclined. The reason why I said that is because even while the child is growing, like I said before, the child wants to explore many areas of life. But as the child starts growing, we start telling the child, this is what you're going to do, this is what you're not going to do. So these are the do's, these are the don'ts, and that begins to kill their intuition. That begins to kill their intuition. Once their intuition is killed, then they don't explore any longer. As they keep growing old, they begin to focus on one area. There's nothing wrong with focusing in one area, but you need to be able to be diverse, because the entrepreneurs of this 21st century must be diverse, must be open to new ideas, must be ready to explore different ways of making things better. Okay. All the people that are into innovation, creativity, they are always trying new ways to make old things better. Either processes, either products, either services, whatever area that you're involved in, you need to look for a way to devise new ways of making things that have been done in the past better.
All right, thank you. So we're going to just dive into the questions, some of the questions the live audience have. Number one question that I have here is that money has always been used as an excuse or reason not to start or not to begin a business. Do you have some insight to share with that person that is not starting because they use money as an excuse?
Thank you very much. My lecture notes that I have here, for instance, I talked about challenges of businesses, and I deliberately did not mention anything that has to do with finances. Wow, it might be a great misunderstanding to many people, because that's one area that we always hammer on, thinking that there's no money to start a business. But I want to say that money is not a problem. Okay, money has never been a problem. Okay, the major problem we have is that, number one, there's no trust. Sure. Yes. Number one, there's no trust. Trust is the number one fundamental actually that we have to have as an entrepreneur. Because you see, money is excess somewhere, but it's looking for a trustworthy person that is going to manage it. Wow. So number one is trust, not money. Number two is competence. Entrepreneurial competence. Some people don't have entrepreneurial competence, even when you can trust them. I've worked with several people, several culture backgrounds. You know, I see somebody is competent, but the person is not trustworthy. And you see somebody that's trustworthy and is not competent. Okay. So it becomes a problem in comparison. So both of them have to go together. It's not the money. The money is always there. Have it at the back of your mind that money is always there. And money will not tell you where it is. It's not going to come on the road and say, hey, here I am, come. No, it's always there. We have people that have equity, participation. You have so much money, even in Europe, in Africa. You know, some governments, they say, oh, there's no money. Now, talk about some countries in Africa, for instance. Some of them are already paying debts with the whole of their revenue. I mean, 90, 100% of their revenue is being used to service debts. Why? Because they are not trusted with the resources that have been given to them. Sure. So when you got mismanagement, issue of mismanagement is not only at the political space, it's also in the culture of the people. We are not trained to be able to manage resources. Sure. So, and if you don't manage the small resources, like the Bible says, that if you are not committed, you are not faithful in the little that is put in your hands, who is going to put to you the true riches? So the true riches are coming, but you have to be able to manage the one that is put in your hands. I think that's the first thing. Trust is a problem. Competency is a problem. And then lastly is corporate governance. Corporate governance talks about having a system to capture what you do. It's very important. So you don't have accounting, no document to show. Because if you're going to read what you're doing, you have to read it on the document. Okay, account statement, balance sheets, every account document to some extent. Basic things. She will tell us what you buy, what you sell. Once you can bring that to the table, the people will start giving you money, but they know they can see that there's a projection of profits. Sure.
Thank you so much. You know, let's put it. Let's bring it into the kingdom. We have a lot of people that says, "Oh God, give me 1 million rand, and I will do great things." But yet you give them 1,000 rand to start a business. They say it's too little. So, I as an entrepreneur and as a pastor, what would you say to someone that has been saying, "God, I need 50,000 rand to start this business," yet they have someone who can give them 5,000, which is a tenth of 50,000, but they say that is too small. So how do you manage that?
Yeah, another problem we have, because we have to be looking at it from the perspective of problems.
Okay, yes,
so
sir.
Be able to solve the problem.
Okay, yeah.
If you're going to get a solution, you need to identify the problem.
True.
Okay, so the problem is that they don't even have a proper documentation of what they provide. For instance, somebody can come and say, I need 50,000 rand to start a business. The question is, what do you want to do with 50,000? I know what I'm saying because, like I told you, I've been in this thing for about 18 to 20 years.
Yeah.
I've seen money. People have put real money into my hands. Sometimes I see money, I say, what do I do with this money? You start thinking, what do you do with the money? Because you're not ready for it.
You're not ready for it. Sure.
You're not ready for it. Some of us are talking. If you get 50,000, 1 million, you just don't know what to do.
You're paralyzed for
You're paralyzed for something. And that paralyzed, you're taking 200,000 to go employ.
Hey, just go and enjoy yourself.
So, and nature has a way, it takes away from you what you're not ready for. So if you think you are ready for 50,000, take the 5,000 first. Use it. While you're using it, nature, the environment,
Give you capacity.
Spiritual, everything will pull to your direction. More resources because you have the confidence in managing it. So money should never be a problem. All the time, money.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Money is available.
Money is available. So now, do you have some checklist for people to use to evaluate their readiness? Like someone says they are ready to do this, they're ready. Do you have? Can you give us, let's say 4 or 3 checklists? If someone wants to start a business, you want someone want to enter into the entrepreneurship. What I know, 4 or 5 checklists that they should be able to have, top of your head.
Number 1, if you want to know if you are ready, you have to know if you have a vision.
Vision.
Yeah.
Okay.
You must have vision.
Okay.
If you don't have vision, then it means you're not ready. You should have a vision of this is what I want to do. Number 2, you must have a clear blueprint. I call it the plan.
The plan.
Of course, people say to me, well, the business is small business, I don't need a business plan. That business plan is very important. It doesn't matter whether you're doing 5,000 rand, 3,000 rand business, or 3 million rand business. The blueprint is very important. But the blueprint will tell you at what milestone you need to change, you need to move to another stage. Okay? If you have a blueprint for maybe 1 year or 2 years, it means that, okay, after 3 months, I'm going to do this business for 3 months. After 3 months, I'm going to switch to this level. After the next 6 months, I'm going to switch to this level. If you have that kind of blueprint, then it's easy for you to operate. Because sometimes we just say, we want to do business. I want to do wholesale. I want to be a supplier. I want to open a barber shop, for instance. You open a barber shop. Have you thought about the market? Have you thought about the competition? So these are all things that you need to be really ready before you go into competition. And then, lastly, you must have passion. Like you said before, you must have passion for what you want to do. If you don't have passion, then you're not going to be motivated because entrepreneurship is hard.
It is.
At the same time, the difficult part of it is that you need to be self-motivated.
Sure.
Nobody's going to motivate you. You are the leader of yourself. So you need to motivate yourself. So for you to motivate yourself, you must have passion.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together. I think another question here, I believe the person is asking is, how do you get back on track after several business shocks or mistakes or mishappening or wrong investment? How do you get on track? I think this person was trying to ask, they started several business, it didn't work. How did you, use your personal life, because you said you invested in some things and it didn't work, because in your first opening statement, there's some business are still striving while others didn't work. So how do you get on track? Are you still investing? And how do you, just to have that person?
Failure is part of life. Failure is part of the journey of an entrepreneur. Every entrepreneur must experience failure.
I think you need to repeat that. Church people don't like hearing those things.
Yeah, failure is a part of life, and failure is part of the entrepreneurship journey. The reason is because some of these things that we do, you have to try it. Okay, there are systems, there are some things you need to try. Even if there's a book or a manual, standard operating procedure to start something. I have a friend that just about starting Victoria. He wants to start, he's already started, but it took me over 6 months to push him to start because he's scared of failing. He already bought the machine, the equipment to produce what they call the paints for marking.
Road marker paint.
Yes.
That's a niche industry.
One of the machines, yes, a niche industry.
It's a niche industry.
I was trying to help him to put many things together, but he's always telling me, I want to dip my foot into the water. That's the part. I said, yeah, but there's going to be failure, so you have to just dip.
You have to jump in.
You still dip it later on. Okay, so Don't be scared of failure. All you just need to do is to learn from the failure. It's only a fool that keeps failing and keeps repeating the failure cycle.
Sure.
Failure is good, but you must look for a way to learn from your failure very fast. Like I said, someone told me it's better for you to keep your money and gradually be eating the money than to invest it and lose the money. Okay, so that's why some people, when they steal money and all this kind of stuff, they just keep it somewhere. They don't want to invest it because they don't want to lose it. So I'd rather just leave it and be taken gradually and be doing whatever I want to do. So, but you must learn quickly and pick up yourself. Very important. And knowledge. Another way you can tackle failure is knowledge. Because if you know, you will minimize your risk. You will minimize your failures. And knowledge is very important. Because why we fail is because we don't know. True. Okay. Like I said, there are some things that you can delve into out of that entrepreneurial drive. But there are some other things that you don't just need to go, you must do your analysis. And that's why we have consultants and all that will tell you, do this. And teaching. Once you can get the knowledge part of it first, it's very easy for you to just go into the business. Okay, and then your failure rate will be very minimal.
I love that. So your failure rate. It's not that your failure is totally erased, but the rate which it's minimal. All right, some other questions. This one is they're speaking to you personally because they want to learn from you. You're a great entrepreneur. How did you start your first business? How many years ago? 18 years ago. How did you start your first business? And what was it?
All right. You see, one definition of an entrepreneur is that entrepreneurs take advantage of opportunity.
Sure, they take advantage of opportunity.
Take note of that. I said something just now. I said reaction to shifts.
Yes, sir.
Reaction to changes. Reaction to just look around you, because an entrepreneur is a problem solver. So if you're going to be a problem solver, you must be able to identify the problem first. You must be able to identify the problem. And when you identify the problem, quickly plug in, especially if there's so much competition in that space. I want to cast my mind back to, well, I'm very good at keeping this. My wife always said, but I think it's 2000. Came back to my brother 2004. 2004. I was working for an organization. We are into automobile sales, repairs. As an engineer, I was a technology officer. I manage all the workshop, big workshop, expansive workshop. So we always buy spare parts from people, but we don't sell spare parts. We only use spare parts to fix cars and all that. So I was buying spare parts. We're buying spare parts. I those in store. So I'm not into the buying and selling of those kind of things. I don't even know how they buy, how they sell the parts. All I know is that we need to fix the car. The car needs to work well and everything. Pay my salary. I go home. So a time came and my boss traveled to the United States. And he was in the United States. Normally he brings in parts from the United States. So he was saying, oh, I can't. We had a big order of spare parts, large quantum of spare parts that we needed because we have some cars we need to fix, bulky cars. So he said, oh, I can't move from the United States to Dubai. So he told me, do you have a passport? See why I said take advantage of opportunity. I mean, I just left school maybe 4 or 5 years back. I don't even have a passport. Sure, of course, I don't have a passport, and I've never thought about going out. In fact, the first time I flew a plane was in that region. Just flew from one state to another state. We already used to just living the conventional lifestyle. And when he said, I said, oh, so I can get a passport.
You just say I can get it.
I can get it.
I love that statement.
Within 1 week, I can get a passport. So you think, I said I can get it, sir. Immediately I got my passport. Within 1 week. So I've gotten the passport. Okay, I want to fly to Dubai. I'm already there, sir.
I love that.
I'm already there. 2004. I can't forget it. I said, go buy the parts. When you get there, somebody's already there to pick you. When you get there, the spare parts are already arranged. Just to pick it. Okay, you know what you need, but as an engineer. I know what I need, but I would normally have sourced it locally. Sure. Because the order was bulky. He said if we buy, we're going to save costs. So he wanted to fly himself, because he travels abroad. And he said, well, I can't leave US. If he was in Nigeria, he would have flew himself. And then I moved to Dubai. And when I got to Dubai, my eyes were open.
Sure.
Nobody was saying,
and the eyes were open. The opportunity.
That was all.
That was all.
That was all.
Traveling.
Boom.
Sure.
Because I saw that the parts were buying local because somehow I'm privy to it.
Yeah.
They were making not less than 200%.
200%
minimum. I said, what? And when I was going, I was also smart to say, I don't have money. So I called a friend. I think a friend from London came, and I said, I need some. Just give me some money in case I want to buy anything. Give me £1,000. Immediately as I'm buying for the company,
you bought.
I'm buying for myself. I already know
what is needed. Wow.
That was all. I can never forget that.
And
so I'm using the same shipment to ship. So you see, they say Jewish man. But I never had that kind of sense. But I just knew that Dubai is a place they call business. To give you money and that was all.
Do you know people who travel to Dubai to eat?
Yeah, to buy clothes.
To buy clothes, they don't invest.
That was all. I was going to Dubai almost every 6 months.
Sure.
That was all.
Now you are the one bringing back this.
Not just to him, I have to open the shop.
Sure.
And that was all. Boom. Spare part business.
Let's
so the business was in that area.
Wow.
While you are struggling fixing part, the sales of the parts.
We're coming to.
That's why I say to you, that company, even if they are producing the cars, their money is being made from the spare parts. They are not making money from the cars that they produce. So again, that brings us to entrepreneurial kind of change. Okay. Sometimes the products you are offering may not be where the money is. Try to look for the service attached to it. It's the service that the money is. Okay. For instance, you are producing cake. It's not just the cake you're selling. You have to be looking at other services that are connected to that cake. That's where the money could be. That's where the flow is going to flow. So that's it.
Wow. I hope someone that has learned something. Yeah. So in one of your teaching, just before I go to the next one, you said you can be working for someone and be intrapreneur. Explain that. I think that's how you started.
What happened to me was intrapreneur.
Interpret.
Yeah, okay. Because I want to say something that is very important.
Yes.
But there are two kinds of intrapreneurs. There are those who are working in an organization, and the organization will give them the room to grow in themselves. Okay. So in that case, the companies will say, okay, you're going to be in research and development department. Okay. Whatever ideas that you bring in, we are going to sell it. And we're going to be
like Google.
Yes, that's what
the map was not part. Was not. Yes,
somebody brought
the map. Yes, and others
producing apps are bringing it. So they are entrepreneurs because they are producing app and they are putting it onto the platform or into the Android project. So they buy those apps, and so we are working together. Okay, so whatever profit we make, we will be a part of it. But some companies are stingy. They might not, especially the old ones, they might not be thinking that way. They just want to either use what you have and grow the company and forget about it. So when you're in this kind of case, you have to be able to look for how to do this for yourself. But if you're in a place where the environment is fostering productivity, creativity, and innovation, then there's nothing wrong with just working with the organization. That's going to be a lot of help. So in my own case, it was not the knowledge of my boss, even though later I knew I was having a spare part shop. But we don't do it, so it was not a competition. It was a competition. So if I want to buy, I just say go to my shop and bring it, and I invoice it.
I love that. I love that. I think we need to receive laying of hand after this. Yeah. Another question here from one of the audience. It says, how do people come up with great names like Google? We have Facebook. Now it's called Meta. We have Instagram. What are the ways you can suggest? Because some people's business, their name itself, no one can pronounce it, and they want to use their name and put PLC into it. So what from how do people generate good name?
Names that are sounding right.
Sounding right.
Sounding right.
It's from the scripture. It's from the scripture. It's light.
Somebody say Goshen.
Goshen, yeah.
Goshen, it's flowing.
Yeah.
Now, the mean is something that you can describe, you can explain what it means. For instance, my company is McCall Consulting. That's the one of the biggest company. And McCall was a mathematician. He's a Russian mathematician. So, because of the kind of things he did in statistics that has to do with manufacturing processes, because I work on processes, I'm into manufacturing as well as manufacturing processes. So I like that name, and in particular, there's an equation that is time that was able to help to solve some problems in the manufacturing industry. So then I thought that I said, I like this thing, so I can also be involved because it's a solution. So it depends on what, and it was approved and registered. So look for names that really make sense, that matches what you do, and then brand it very well. Once you brand it, of course,
you know, one of the things I want you to also talk about, a lot of Christians, when they start business, they put barber shop, like a barber shop, they add Christian, they add to God be the glory, enterprise, walking on water, things like that. Do you advise such things? Because the clientele will only just be a set of those people.
That is not what's good.
I didn't get that.
That is not what is going to make the business.
Having a Christian name.
Not necessarily make the business do better. Okay, but it doesn't mean that if you are led to put a Christian name, but you must do the things that need to be done. Because God is no respecter of any person. Of course, if you do the right thing, you apply the right principles, you get the right results. So emphasis should not just be on that. I'm not saying you should not use it. Maybe faith
barber shop.
Faith salon. There's nothing wrong with faith salon. Faith is faith. But again, just be assured that there are some people that may not want to hear that, and they would have loved to have part of your services. And they say, oh, he's a Christian, what do you call it? Fanatical. Yeah. You know, don't be too radical or fanatical about it. That's not the reason why God is going to bless. Even if you don't use those things, God is still going to bless.
I love that. Let's so someone is asking here, how can I protect my ideas so that others will not steal it?
Unfortunately, in Africa, we don't have a lot of protecting patent regulations. It's not really strong here in Africa, but in America, it's very strong. You just have an idea, you can take it to the patent regulators. They know how to protect it. And once you have been given that patent rights, people cannot just come and steal it from you. But here in Africa, unfortunately, we don't have those strong regulatory bodies that can enforce patent rights. Okay, not that you don't have the patent right, but enforcement. So, how do you know that those ideas, even if you patent it, because I can pick the idea and twist it in another way, and then it becomes novel to me. It's not novel to me. So that's going to be a difficult one. All you need to do is to protect it for yourself. So it's you that should protect it, and if you need to swing into action immediately, swing into action, get as much pull you can pull in the market before others will come in, because they're going to come. Definitely they're going to come. Competitors are going to come to take that idea. It's basic. It's only a matter of time.
So my follow-up question would be, how then, what are the advice will you give the upcoming entrepreneur? Maybe he or she has started 5 years. He's like the guy now that is able to produce that paint for the road, which I say is a niche business where only few tread on it. And now he's entering into a niche business. But what if it's something that is normal to everybody? What advice will you give how to manage your competitor? What will set you ahead of your competitor? What advice will you give? Sorry?
Innovation.
Innovation.
Number one, innovation. Number two, innovation. Number three, innovation. You have to constantly, like I said, the issue of competition, there's nothing you can do about it, because competition will always be there. So you must look for a way to do it better, faster, quicker, efficient, customer friendly, service, like you always say, service. So all those things are, for instance, you have a restaurant, The reason why we go to this restaurant, number one, quality. If this food is tasting better than this one, of course I'll go in there. But if this one is even tasting better and they don't have good manners, you know, the people that are serving you don't have manners, they don't treat you right. This place they have Wi-Fi, you can go in a free Wi-Fi and everything. Even if it's not too, as long as I have that convenience I need, I'll prefer to do that. So it's all about innovation. So we have to keep innovating. That's why innovation cannot stop.
Sure. Wow, that's great. So another question here is, what kind of entity should I set up if I'm going to start a business journey? So I think this person is asking of ideas. Looking at South Africa now, let's zero into South Africa. The youth, what ideas do you see? Being as a man of God, being a foreigner in this country, being able to travel around the world. What are in the next couple of years, what are businesses, those of us here on this platform, those who are even in this house, we can run with? Give us about five of them or seven of them. What business ideas?
It's not just going to be easy for me to just say these business ideas that we're going to have to go into. But it's normal, like you said, the Chinese man that was saying that in a woman's life, you're going to see over 20 things. Okay, those opportunities are there. For me, the level I've gotten to now, I'm just thinking that we need more than just a business idea. There are a lot of ideas, especially in the tech industry. Okay? I've tried to check even the angel investors. Like I said, money is everywhere. There are young guys that are coming up in fintech, agritech. They are producing technologies that you can use to make this faster, make this better. And one of the things I observe with investors now is that they don't want to invest in anything that does not have the capacity to be scaled.
To be scaled, that means blown.
Scaled across
the
region,
world.
Not necessarily the world, it could even be in Africa, even in your zone where you are, even in Johannesburg. Have you been able to scale what you're doing? So they want to invest in something that can scale. They want to invest in something that can cut across not only a particular section of the market, you can cut across different markets. A male or a female, they can buy it.
Not gender based.
Old and young, they can use it. So those kind of things. So it's going to be a model. So business idea is going to be more of a model. Let's take for instance Uber. Okay, the taxi business has always been on ground.
Yes.
But this guy said, no, we don't just want. When you say idea, the idea is still a taxi. It's to move it from one place to the other.
Yes, true.
But how do we move it in such a way that instead of having only 4 clients that will join my car at one particular point in time, let me have 10 million people across taking the taxi with one app. It's still one app. So you see, it's a model. So once you can see the model, the food industry, whether it's in it's no longer that kind of entrepreneurship. Say, I have this idea, I want to buy this and selling it here. Everybody does it. But if we do teamwork, the teamwork will enable us to look at bigger scales.
That's partnership.
Bigger scales. So that's what I talked about trust for the first time. Yes, that we need trust. I've been involved in partnership business. Some of them have hurt me badly, but because I did not have legal understanding. If I had legal understanding to protect me, I would have been protected. Okay. So now we have the understanding. There's legal partnership. There are partnerships that we have legal. We'll be able to put things together that will protect everyone, both the majority stakeholder and the minority stakeholder. If I want to do a business, say 1 million rand, I'm bringing 700,000. I'm bringing 300,000. Yes. Yeah. So I'm a majority stakeholder.
That's true.
So control would be more inclined to.
But
there's what they call minority protection.
Okay.
So the minority protection is where the lawyer comes in. So there are rules that are guiding that business so that you'll be protected.
Yes.
Okay, so that's where the problem has always been, because the minority cannot be protected. You don't have a voice. So it's like I just threw my money there, somebody's managing me. Like, no, you have right to see what you're doing, you have right to ask questions, you are protected, and if you want to exit, you can also exit. So a whole lot of gain, a whole lot of things coming. Because if we strategically position ourselves in teamwork and we're able to bring different ideas, we harness different ideas. We used to form a major idea, I think we'll go further than just what business should I do? Should I do the food? Should I do the let's think of something more in the tech. That's the way to
Tech industry. Let's put our hands together. I just wanted to ask. You spoke about angel investor.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people may not understand the terminology. You're speaking from a business point of view. I understand what. So explain what an angel investor is, and where can people, if they need investors, where they can look into.
Venture capitalists is another angel. Venture capitalists, there are these companies that are into investment. They are investing to